Sorry about that. I don't know why, but everything just turned off. I had to reset the camera, the mic, everything. And I did it in about a minute. So we're all good. Welcome in. What a crazy, crazy race to bring Iowa back to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Real quick, before we get too far into it, I'm going to pause this. Thank you, NBC, for actually putting up the point so I don't have to go search for them. Fox. By the way, if I sound bad, let me know. Again, I had to reset a bunch of stuff real quick. But let's go into the points really quick before we get into the race itself. Custer is plus 197, Creed plus 92, Herbst plus 91, Allmendinger plus 60, Kligerman plus 55, and Sammy Smith plus 31 over Ryan Sieg. Alfredo is minus 54, Brandon Jones minus 74, and Parker Retzlaff minus 105. So there we go. As for the winner is Sam Mayer, who wins a thriller and an action-packed kind of mess of a race, but it was a fun mess. You know, you can't say it was like, oh, it was absolutely balls to the wall, amazing racing. It was not, I would say, that high of a pedestal you could put it on. But I do think that it still was a lot of fun to watch. Now, I want to see what you think in the comments right now. Out of 10, what'd you think of this race? 10 being the best race you ever seen, 0 being the worst race ever. Let me know, out of 10, what you're going to rate this race. We will read those super chats at the conclusion of the recap. There's plenty to recap, so we will get into it as well. And I'm seeing a lot of 7s, 8s, and then the outliers of 6s and 9s. Nice. I see a 4 in there. Yeah, just keep letting me know what you think of this race. We can get into it really quick. Sam Mayer wins it over Riley Herbst by about 0.15 seconds. The official time is 0.146. After that, we have Heim time coming home in third. Sammy Smith coming home in fourth. Sorry, I'm just keeping track, making sure if anything happens, I'll know about it. Sheldon Creed, who just manages to find a way every single time he's in contention for a win to throw it away, comes home fifth. Sixth is Custer. In the 7th position, I had to make sure I was right about this. It's Matt DiBenedetto. A lot of people didn't think that he'd do all that much, but Matty D comes home 7th in this race over Chandler Smith in 8th. 9th, Ross Chastain. And somebody call Mikey, because Daniel Dye has come home with a top 10 finish, a 10th position in that 10 car. Then you got Parker Kligerman in the 11th spot, right? Ryan Sieg in the 12th spot, Honeyman 13th, 14th, Ellis, Alfredo 15th, Gase 16th, and David Starr 17th position, last car on the lead lap. From there, Moffitt comes home 18th, a lap down, Kyle Sieg 19th, Josh Williams 20th, Clements in the 21st spot, Cram 22nd, Emmerling 23rd, Jeb Burton comes home 24th, 3 laps down. And then Deegan in 25th. And the last car on track is Smithley, 3 laps down in 26th. That means everyone from 27th place all the way to the back was out of this race. Either crashed out, engine issues, tires that caused them to crash out or have engine issues. They were out of this race. That starts with John Hunter Nemechek in 27th. 28th is Brennan Poole. 29th, Austin Hill. Justin Allgaier 30th. Jesse Love 31st. Retzlaff 32nd. Weatherman 33rd. SVG 34th. 35th is Perkins. Then you got Brandon Jones in 36th. AJ Allmendinger in 37th. And Glenn Reen last in the 38th position on the day. I'm seeing, ooh, this is fun, a fun one in the chat here. Road America over Iowa. Interesting take. It was definitely a return, that's for sure. A return to remember. But let's get on into talking about it while we're at that. So, if I can hold on to my pen. Austin Hill would get the pole because of a rained out qualifying session. It just sucked. The SVG went to a backup car. This was just not his weekend in any way. Definitely just threw him for a loop. It happens to the best drivers. They get thrown for a loop. And he had a few loops that ended up in a backup car and a car out of this race that we'll talk about in a moment. But man, I wish they could have started next to each other on the front row just to see what would happen. Just to see what would happen. But from there, Allgaier would get the lead immediately, and then Chandler Smith. I think Chandler Smith had the best car speed-wise out there today. I mean, it wasn't even close, to be completely honest. I thought that he was just, lightning fast. It was very difficult to get back up. Didn't matter if you had a great car, great tires, whatnot. It was very difficult to get back up through the pack to the lead or even to the leaders. It took a lot of time to do that. Which, by the way, I did do it late, but I remembered the ticker this week. Anyway. There was a big caution here, though, for AJ Allmendinger. He has a flat right front into the wall. There were a lot of different issues in that first run. It was definitely, I think, something to be concerned about. Change maybe a little bit just to last a little longer in the runs. But it wasn't like a Indy 08. Like the Cup. It wasn't like the Cup practice, actually, which it was like every 20 laps. Like, you could save the tires in this. And from what Goodyear and those at NASCAR have said, I think the issues that Cup and Xfinity are having are completely separate issues. So with that one, at least, while it sucked for the guys that were involved and the ones who pushed it to the limit, at least it seems like there's a solution to it. But for AJ Allmendinger, there was no solution. It was 37th. Get out of here. He had a nasty hit, and there were some other nasty hits, especially him and Justin Allgaier. Just brutal hits in this race due to flat tires, and I don't care who the driver is, whether it's Allgaier or Hill, you don't want to see somebody get a hit from a flat tire like that. We get restarted. The 20 leads for a little bit, but it's, again, Chandler Smith. He leads at the end of the stage, which ends early with Jeff Burton crashing. I believe due to a flat again. There were so many I can't remember, I'll be honest with you. But Chandler Smith wins the stage over Creed, Mayer, Allgaier, Sammy Smith, Custer, Moffitt, Heim, Nemechek, and Love. And again, the first two stages, it was going to be like this. JGR definitely had the setups, at least early on. I think the rest of the pack caught up through the day. And it made for a really interesting race because while I did say, and I do think that it was a little difficult to pass, it still was not impossible in any way. And it was, I would say it was interesting the whole time because you could have things that would keep your interest in this race. We get back racing on stage 2 on lap 83. It's the 81 and 18 front row. It's a palindrome front row on this restart. Smith would get the lead. It's 4 wide behind him, and this is the way it was for a lot of the day. The leader or leaders would get out single file, like 2 or 3, maybe 4 of them, and then you'd have this 2, 3, 4 wide battle behind him. It's just like hell breaking out. And with that, you did not go long in this run because Shane Van Gisbergen was a quick exit in this race, not even 4 laps, 5 laps into the run. He wrecks out on the backstretch out in the outback. Sorry, I had to, even though he's not from Australia. It's just funny pun. If you watch NWP, which I believe this week is on Danny B Talks channel, if you watched it this past week on Eric's channel, you know I like sneaking little fun things in, like a bunch of Slipknot songs. I thought I'd say that before I forget. But with that, too, you also had the 29 and the 91 collected. They end up with poor finishes basically on each side of him. We get restarted again. It's the Smiths now up front, and there's a little contact, but again, Chandler is going to keep the lead. But Parker Retzlaff, his car blows up, and this is not the first time we'll see a blow up, a fire, smoke, whatnot. It gets crazier as we go. I have Emmerling, he spins. Sammy Smith up front is starting to try and challenge for the lead through these restarts and all. But it ends up being Jesse Love who ends the stage, crashing with a right front flat, meaning that Chandler Smith wins it over Mayer, Chastain, Heim, Sammy Smith, Creed, Allgaier, Herbst, Cole Custer, and Hill. And while this is happening, as we are transitioning from stage 2 to the final stage of the day, we have one of the oddest kind of moments I think that anyone can remember. It's the 2 car, Jesse Love's car, getting towed back to the garage, and you're thinking, okay, it's normal. They have a camera on it. It's typical stuff, a little B-roll during commercial break, or at least, during a caution period. And then it starts smoking, and you're like, oh, okay, I probably need to put that out. That's kind of weird. I'm not reading that, Andrew, but that's funny. Just because I do not want to be clipped. But his car just combusts. It just starts catching fire. The tow truck stops, and immediately you gotta unhook the thing because you don't want the tow truck suddenly, being connected and it possibly catching fire, or the equipment getting damaged for a later incident or something that would happen tomorrow. But I do not think I remember ever seeing something like that where a car being towed to the garage just blows up, like literally burns to a crisp. It is definitely an interesting one for sure. I'm glad they got it taken out really quick. Very safe. I love how the broadcast, and I'll give this to the NBC broadcast. I think a lot of people had questions about how they'd be without Dale Earnhardt Jr., even though more than likely he probably wouldn't be on an Iowa Xfinity race coverage, even if he were still with NBC. But I do think they actually did a pretty good job today. Little tidbits that could be changed. I think that the saving grace was Steve Letarte not having his voice, so that him and Burton wouldn't reach an octave not known to man yet. But I honestly thought the NBC did really good when it came to interviewing those who got out of the race due to flat tires, blown engines, cautions, crashes, you name it. I don't think up until about the last 10 laps or so, outside of Reen, I don't think anyone who was knocked out that was a big name, they missed an interview or they took a bunch of time away from actual good racing content. It felt very tight. It was a very tight broadcast. It felt like they were actually, from the get-go, had a good amount of chemistry and knew, had a game plan going in and knew what they wanted to do. I do want to know what you guys think. I don't think it was like a 10 out of 10 prime Fox era broadcast, but I want to know what you think out of 10. What do you think of the NBC broadcast today? And by the way, if I'm scatterbraining today and taking more time to think of words, I've been up since 4:30 in the morning. I was out in the sun all day, fishing with Danny V. I caught Monday's dinner. So I will admit I am a little tired, and I it was a great race, and I was all drowsy. I did not fall asleep, but it is one of those days, man. It is one of those days, and I still got another. What time is it? 5:40. I still have another 6.5, 7 hours left of stuff to do today. So wish me luck after the fact. Yes, I was, Blue Jimmy. Yes, I was. Now let's go into the last 90 laps of this race, which was basically the final stage of racing itself. We get restarted. Up front, we have Josh Williams and Ryan Sieg. They have taken no tires, stayed out, whatnot. You're seeing people try and extend their runs, whether it be on tires or just to see about getting better track position, because even with the tires wearing out pretty bad, even with the issues that were had, you would see that scuffs and older tires seem to actually grip the track a little bit better. Then they had a quick fall off, don't get me wrong, But it did seem like they were able to stay up there better. And when you'd get them up there, as long as you didn't blow a tire out and smack the wall, you were going to stay up with good track position that you otherwise probably weren't going to get on the racetrack itself. And you'd have to really screw up in some way. I see Jarrett pick up a Bang 300 milligrams caffeine. I'm not going to do that. I've already gotten off my my healthy diet more than I would otherwise want to. I do not need to add caffeine to that list. I need to get back to what I was doing before. But anyway, you see guys going 3 wide. You see C get the lead. He leads for about 8 laps or so before Sam Mayer, who I think in the final stage, if the JGR guys and and Chandler Smith were the best guys in the first 2 stages, Sam Mayer was the best in the final stage. His car came on the best. Seemed like he really adapted well to the racetrack. And maybe it was partly the Gibbs cars sort of regressing back to the mean a little bit. But I do think that Sam Mayer had the best car out there for the majority of that last, if not the entirety of that last run. With 65 to go, you got Brett Moffitt with the right front flat. Sieg also is having issues, needs to go in, among others. Moffitt stalls it in the pits, and at that point, it's just done for him. He was running top 5. He finishes a lap down, was never able to recover. Didn't have a chance at recovering. But with 48 to go, this all culminates with Justin Allgaier hitting the wall a ton, bringing out the caution. Mayer would have issues in the pits. He would have to recover from that as well as having a good car. So again, not impossible to pass in this race. But with 40 to go, we still have the 20 and the 1 restarting up front. Nemechek leads. Hill gets into Mayer, and Austin Hill all of a sudden is surging up to the front. You got Creed up there fighting for the lead. Hill is up to second. He's seemingly got the best car out there behind John Hunter, who seems to have gotten the race in control with all the things that happened behind him. With 33 to go, which might be his number next year, Austin Hill slams the wall with a flat tire. He's out of the race. I look towards our chat, and everyone's like, who's going to blame this week? Keyboard Warriors. And you know what? In honor of Austin Hill, spam Keyboard Warriors in the chat, please, as I cough my lung out. I'd rather not cough right into the mic. Oof. Yeah, spam Keyboard Warriors in the chat. Why the hell not? I know it's like the biggest thing I've had you guys spam, but I think it'd be funny as hell. There you go. And then you got Nicole with the no. Nice one, Russ. That's funny. With the keyboard emoji and all. I love it. You guys are funny as hell. With 26 to go, we get back racing. Nemechek gets the jump. Battle really is for like in the top 5 or so. But with 20 to go, it's pool blowing up. Caution comes out again. We're going to have another restart. This time it's a 98 and the 20 up front. Nemechek gets the jump, clears the 98, but not enough to get away from him. Herbst gets underneath him the very next lap after being side by side, gets to the lead. Creed is trying to battle up behind him, go with them, self-clears himself into the 20, takes them both out of contention, and with that, after Sam Mayer charges and gets the lead, Nemechek has a flat in the wall. His day is done. We go to overtime. And with that, it's a 1 in the 98. They get restarted. It's even into 1, but Mayer, with the preferred line, gets the lead, hits the white flag, takes the victory over Herbst, who then takes out his left rear tire, which I don't know if it was just like a little like, oh, good job kind of thing, or if he was actually like really mad. But Mayer finishes the job on the other side with his burnout. And with that, Sam Mayer gets another victory. If you remember, was it 2-3 months ago, we were like, man, what the hell is wrong with Sam Mayer this year? The dude has no luck. It's a horrible start to the year. Like, this dude, what's going on? This is just awful. And now he's completely put that behind him. Multiple wins again, priming to run for a championship. It's one of those years, man. And that's how it is with this system, whether you like it or not. I see someone, Keyboard Warriors. I'm just talking about Austin Hill's comment from last week. And yeah, it's definitely a Mike Joy callback. Not one of Mike's best moments either. Just keeping an eye on the chat. Let's see. Might be crazy. Feel like an Elliott Larson 1-2 finish tomorrow night. It's gonna be either a wild night or a terrible night. No in between. Creed took him higher. I like that. Yeah. By the way, be sure to spam or lick the like button. Spam the like button if you want. Subscribe if you're new. We do this after every single race, truck, Xfinity, and Cup. Whenever they do race trucks, because we're not racing that again until Nashville at the end of the month. But, yeah, why the hell not, Nicole? Do a poll of Fox versus USA. Why the hell not? Poll. And I'll just put Fox and USA. There you go. You ask, you shall receive. It could be a 4-hour race tomorrow with blown tires. I don't know about that, but it's probably going to be longer than it should be. Jesus. I knew that was going to happen. I'd still put it up there. Let's get into the Super Chat segment here. Yeah, answer me! Poll. Fred Dog, thank you for the 5. Note to Riley Herbst. Winners don't choose the front row. They just win. His crew chief should be fired for uttering such a stupid catchphrase. Taking my voice away with that. I mean, got a point. It's not, I don't think it's too stupid. I think he's just pumping his driver up, to be honest. And hey, it damn near worked. Reverend Rasheem Hall Stewart for the 2. It's great to have Dale Jarrett in the booth. Oh, yeah. I always like having DJ in the booth. Might have lost a step with age, but still pretty damn good. Let's see. Marky Mark for the 10. Jarrett. By the way, it's Jarrett, not Jared. Just letting everybody know. I will put it in the chat and everything. My name. Jarrett, I'm coming in next time by. I have a lot of chatter on the right front. Go ahead and give me a can of fuel and half a turn down on the wedge. And then a bunch of letters. Oh, God. Give us your best Fox zoom-in impression. Well, you got to miss stuff if you're doing the Fox zoom-in. Like, you got to zoom in, but, like, on the wrong thing. So, like, that. See, I'm zoomed in, but I'm totally not catching what I should be right now. Let's put that back where it should be. There you go. I saw that. There's your Fox zoom-in moment for you. Andrew Winslow, thank you for that too. I'm not gonna go too far on reading something that I don't want clipped. I understand. Just people understand. And Michael Kelly Gilliam for the 2. Juan Pablo enters the chat talking about the Jesse Love deal. By the way, poll has been up for 2 minutes now, over 120 votes, and 87% of you are choosing USA to 13% choosing Fox. So we do have some Fox defenders. Listen, for those of you who watched Race Hub or know people that watch Race Hub, if you Race Hub refugees want to come anywhere to see NASCAR talk, debate, whatnot, we got NWP for Race Hub refugees. We got post race here, so subscribe. Can't wait to have more of y'all in here. And man, it's been a Wednesday night, by the way. Danny B Talks channel, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Should be a good night. But man, it has been an interesting weekend so far, and I think it's gonna get more interesting tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for coming on in. We're gonna turn this off, and we'll do one more Fox zoom, like just whoop. There you go. Oh crap, is it stuck? No, okay, we're good. I thought I got it stuck. Oopsie daisy. All right, thank you all for coming on in. I will see you tomorrow night, and spam corn as we leave here. Yeah, spam corn. How about that? Till next time, have a good one. Later, y'all. Have a good night.